Hey, everybody, this is Captain Yeet here for you for another Young Justice Outsiders episode review. This is going to be Young Justice Outsiders Season 3, Episode 9, titled Home Fry. So, let's get into it. So, the beginning of this episode starts off with the Light having a conversation / meeting in Bialia. Now, in this conversation, they say they have two specific tasks they need to be have completed. They have one new person to handle one task, and another one is Vandal Savage's new acquaintance, and are they sure he can handle the task? Vandal Savage goes, he can. So okay then, let's make sure the two tasks are carried out. We cut over to Rimboar and then we pan out to see Lobo, the main man himself. We see him and he has a new design. He looks really cool, but I just like his regular design better, with the long hair and everything. But Lobo's walking around, he's not trying to take anything from anybody. And then a robot that kind of like the robot that was the robot to what was it named? The Gladiator. Remember that one alien that was contending with Shazam in the Hall of Justice back in season two? It kind of looks like that. I don't think that's the exact same robot, but it looks like him. Well, maybe because I mean the alien, the Gladiator dude, got kidnapped, and after that, he don't really have a purpose anymore. Wait, no, actually, the robot got destroyed. So unless he has like a backup, I don't think the robot's out there just doing stuff. But he says that he has a contract offer for Lobo, saying he sends a beam of light into his head, and Lobo says, "I accept." Then we get the title card. After the title card, we go over to Iris, the girlfriend slash. Well, no, actually, aren't they married now? The wife slash girlfriend to the Flash, and she's chilling with her kids inside of her house. And while she's chilling with her kids inside the house, she's watching the news, and specifically on the news, they are announcing that they're opening up a meta-human youth center. This youth center is going to be about the meta-human trafficked kids trying to learn how to use their powers, to get counseling for everything that they've been through. There's going to be obviously counselors there, and two of the counselors are Neutron and Ed. That is so dope. And look at my boy Ed. Oh, he's not all grown up, but he's older. He basically looks the same, just taller. And Neutron looks like Neutron. He's just a bald dude. He's just a bald dude. But my boy Ed, like, I already said this before, but I love the little Runaways group, and my boy Ed is there. Look at him, all tall and grown. Look at him. Look at my boy. Anyway, yeah, they're gonna be opening up that youth center, which is really nice. And Aquaman, well, not Aquaman, Aqualad, he's the one that goes up on the news and says they're opening up this new place, but they call him Aquaman. So I guess they just call him Aquaman. I guess it's like like Spider Man. They call Miles Spider Man. They call Peter Spider Man too. They call Aquaman Aquaman. They call Aqualad Aquaman too, which is kind of funny, but that's also really cool. Anyway, we also get to see the two kids of the Flash, and it's kind of funny that there's a running gag going on throughout this episode to where Impulse, he's inside the house to help her out because they have the powers of the Flash, the two kids, so they're able to run around really quickly. So he grabs them. He goes, "Come on, Dad, chill out," talking to the little boy. She goes, "Don't call him that." "Oh, yeah, my bad, my bad. Spoilers, spoilers. My bad, Grandma. Don't call me Grandma." That's that's really funny. I mean, it's true, but it's also really funny, and that's always nagged me about season two because obviously I understand the time machine broke, so Impulse isn't able to go back to the future, but he should be growing up in the future. So what is he like? He should be growing up in the future. So if he has to do something in the future, he can't do it because he's here. And eventually, these two kids are going to grow up, and by the time they have Impulse should. Uh, he should be alive by the time they do that, but he should be obviously a lot older, pretty old, but he should be alive. They're gonna have two impulses in the same timeline. That's bad. I mean, I guess eventually that impulse is going to grow up into the regular impulse, and then I guess he'll do what he needs to do when he grows up. That's really confusing time travel stuff, but I mean, I guess that's gonna have to happen unless they can send him back forward in time some sort of way. Anyway, they get a knock at the door, and it's Mara, Aquaman's wife, and their son, which is so cute because we got these two characters teased. The Flash's kid back in season two. Obviously, we saw Mara; she was pregnant back in season one, and we're seeing all the kids, forming. I don't know if they ever formed their own little Justice League, the kids, but if they do, that'd be cool. That'd be really cool. We get to see Mara and their son. They're coming over for this little play date, which is really sweet. Now, after that happens, we pan over to a house across the street, and there's a man in there. And he goes, "There's 12 more to come, and then he'll be ready." Then we go over to McGann's house, and we see Brion watching TV on his phone, and we see Forge eating apples, and Superboy watching TV, specifically the news with G. Gordon. Now, G. Gordon is talking to the new character, Granny Goodness, and she's specifically the person that made the goody goggles that we've been seeing throughout the series. Well, not the series, this season, not the series. And he's just trying to dog on her, saying that it's like melting kids' minds and that being able to capacitate, well, not capacitate, but work regularly because of these goody goggles. She said that she specifically made these goody goggles to spark inspiration and imagination in kids, so there's nothing harmful with these goody goggles. She also brings up that her and the Wayne Foundation, her and Bruce Wayne, are working together to donate money to charities and to also donate money to the foundation that's making what's it called, the Meta Youth Center for the trafficked kids. And G. Gordon trying to dog on the Justice League any way he can, trying to dog on her any way he can. Now, one thing is a little confusing. Although we know that's his character, the dog on everybody, and especially the Justice League and stuff. But he starts to dog on the youth center. He calls them like meta delinquents, and I'm like, okay, I I said this before. His whole purpose is to dog on them on the news, like Jane Jonah Jameson. I understand that, but I don't know how he's supposed to spin the youth center being bad because he could say, "Oh, these are delinquents using their meta powers for evil." I mean, G. Gordon, these guys were kidnapped as well. They still are teenagers, but these are kidnapped teenagers that got tortured to activate the meta genes and then mind controlled to fight against regular civilians and kill people. How do you spin that in a bad way? Or they kill people. They were mind controlled. They got powers and going crazy with them. They were tortured to even activate their powers. I don't know how he's spinning that, and they don't really break that down. Like that kind of conversation I just had, they don't have that. He just calls them delinquents, and they just keep going with the conversation. So that's kind of wild. He said that, but it's G Gordon. Anyway, after this whole long conversation, McGann, she walks over and the Superboy quickly turns off the TV. She goes, "No, you don't have to do that for me, but I don't know why you watch this junk. I mean, you know how he is." He goes, "Yeah, I know he's a bad dude, but we have to know what the opposition is talking about us, right? Besides, he's kind of fascinating." So, this character right here that I'm about to show, I was assuming that he was the teacher from season one that was a teacher to McGann and Superboy the first day of high school. But in the conversation him and McGann has, it kind of sounds like he's Lucas. Remember that kid that was scrawny that they made friends with that first day of high school back in season one? Is this him? I think it's him, right? I thought this was a teacher, but I think it's him because he's like bragging about how he's the new principal of their high school, so he has perks to like come in anytime he wants and stuff. And they're just talking all friendly. He's always hanging around here, so I guess so. But last season they said him and Wendy were dating, and Superboy was helping them out through their dating issues. I don't think they get broken up or anything, but where's Wendy? We don't see we see him all the time just chilling over this house for no reason. Where's Wendy? I don't know. Hopefully they're still dating. Anyway, what was I about to say? I was about to say Lakovia. Lakovia. Markovia. Brion is watching the news with his brother, and Superboy comes over saying that they have to go training. So then we go back over to the playdate. In the playdate, we see Red Arrow and Black Lightning's ex talking. Now, in the conversation, they start to crack some jokes saying, well, not jokes, but they start to bring up the exes, and Red Arrow's like, hey, I shouldn't talk about my ex. It's a glass house. He used to, date a villain and stuff. And she's talking about how Black Lightning's back in the hero game, even though he said he wasn't going to be back in the first episode, which is so funny. But the real conversation starts when she says, "Hey, what's going on with you and Artemis?" He goes, "Me and Artemis?" Well, and nothing. She goes, "Come on, you're both single." She helps out with Leon. Anything, nothing. Y'all live under the same house. Nothing's happening. No, no. I mean, come on. I mean, Artemis is, a really good friend, and she's helped a lot with Leon, but it's nothing. It's nothing. Oh, oh, okay. Just wondering. Just wondering. I don't know why her and Black Lightning broke up. Obviously, I guess things just didn't work out, but I wonder why they broke up. Hopefully, maybe they can get back together one day. And I know like I said back in episode one, I only know the daughters based off that's Black Lightning lore. I know he has two daughters, and I only ever really seen them. The only media I've ever seen his daughters in, all those little animated DC shorts they used to do on Cartoon Network in between, commercial breaks to show like a little animated DC short. There was one of his two daughters. Well, no, there was actually multiple. There was one with because there's one that's older, like a teenager, and there's one that's like a kid. I know the kid has the black lightning powers. The older daughter has like super strength only in her feet. But there was one where the little kid was sick. There was another one where the older daughter with the super strength in her feet was teaming up with like a high tech Green Arrow. It was like these little cute animations where they were really well animated too. I don't know if you guys seen them. I put them in the comics of the very first episode of this season. I don't know if I put it. I guess I can put them in the comics of this episode too. But yeah, that's the only media I know them in. But both of the daughters look like in the first episode, it looked like one was older and one was younger, how they're supposed to be. In this episode, it kind of looked like both of them are younger, unless there's only one of them here. I think there's only one here, but I could have sworn I saw both of them. But anyway, that's a little tyrant rant. I don't know why I went on that. But then we hear another knock at the door, and Rocket she has her son, and then we see what's her name? What's her name? Bumblebee. We see so many characters this episode, man. We see Bumblebee. She walks into the house with her little bundle of joy. Now she's pregnant. She hasn't had her baby yet, but she's coming into the play date to have a good time. Chill with everybody. And it's really funny because Rocket's son, he goes, "Hey, you have a baby in there." I sure do. His son is hilarious. Now he does have not the Pacific. I think ADHD. That's why he sounds like that, and that's why he's acting like that. That was just a little funny. You got a baby up in there. I sure do, honey. I sure do. And then we get the same scene with that random dude across the street. He says there's still four more to go. Then we go over to Halo and Artemis, and they're chilling in this random rocky field, waiting for the boys to show up. And eventually they do. I do like this one screenshot. It just looks really nice. It's a really nice screenshot of both of them just standing there waiting for the boys to pull up. Eventually, they pull up. We get this one little running gag where Forager practicing how to introduce himself, and he's practicing on everybody, Halo, Artemis, and then eventually Black Lightning and Dr. Chase show up, and he practices on Dr. Chase, but she doesn't want to shake his hand. She just kind of pats him on the shoulder. Anyway, Dr. Chase, she shows up, hugs Halo, really happy to see her, and then she apologizes to Brion but everything that she did to him. Because obviously he wanted Medellin powers at first, but then he didn't want it, but then she gave it to him anyway. She says, I thought you were the only one that could possibly stop your uncle. That's why I forcefully gave you your powers. And I also want to apologize for even working with your uncle and Dr. Vertigo. Well, not Dr. Count Vertigo and the whole meta-human trafficking thing underground. He says it's okay. Obviously, she was a victim too in all of this, and she was just trying to do as much good as she could in the situation she was in. But she also wants to figure out exactly what's the progress on getting Terra back. He says that, well, Nightwing says we have to have patience. This is another nice shot of Halo I want to show really quickly. He goes, we have to have patience. And then when he says this, we see a sniper scope aiming for him, and then a bunch of sniper bullets just start to rain down from the sky. Everybody's freaking out. What's going on? And Black Lightning's acting really calm, saying, "Hey, we should let the kids handle it," and grab Dr. Chase and pull her to the side. Now, Forager notices this and goes, "Hey, this must be a test from Nightwing." So then they get into battle positions. Brion gets shot up a few times and falls to the ground. Forager and Halo are flying around the bullets trying to figure out where Nightwing is. They're actually doing really good work and also shooting back at him. And then we hear Nightwing go, okay, that's enough. And Forager and Halo get an A in effort because they were actually able to try to fly around, find Nightwing, shoot back at him. They were actually ready for this. Well, not ready, but they were prepared to handle a surprise attack. Brion, not so much. He was like fumbling around, not doing too well in the surprise attack. So he gets an F in this mission. Well, not mission, but this trial. Also, I was wondering why didn't Black Lightning freak out? Because obviously they were able to pick up really quickly. This is a training thing. The surprise attack should really be meant for acting like this is an actual attack from a surprise enemy. So Black Lightning, everybody else would have been freaking out to make it look real. I don't know why he didn't do that, but I mean, hey, hindsight's 2020. We can't really, scold him for that. But he should have been acting a lot more crazy, like, "Oh my goodness, everybody run, help, let's find us," something, or have Nightwing shoot him. And he does specifically, Black Lightning specifically does mention that he was using rubber bullets. Obviously, they're non-lethal if you aim them right. I thought they were non-lethal in general. I didn't know they were non-lethal only if you aim them right. Excuse me. And oh yeah, I forgot. Dr. Chase, she got really mad. She was like, "What was that? What is she doing?" He was trying to explain that those were rubber bullets, the training thing. And I didn't answer my question. I'm like, yo, calm down. He didn't actually get that hurt. Anyway, oh, actually, before I continue, let me show this next. Let me show this shot because Dr. Chase was mad. Brion got shot, and Brion was not happy because he got shot. He didn't really get to do anything in the back. That was hilarious. So anyway, we go back over to the play date, and two more people show up to the play date, and specifically Red Tornado in his not human disguise. It's more of a human-like body, so he can interact with humans. He kind of just puts his consciousness in there. But when he shows up, we get this funny joke to where Red Arrow goes, "Oh, thank goodness, John, you're here. I was kind of sick of being the only dad here." And all the moms get mad at him, and I'm like, "Is that a problem? I mean, he's the only dude here, besides from the kids." But anyway, all the kids run over to him and they go, Uncle John, spinny, spinny. They really want him to do the spinny. What is that? Specifically making two little red tornadoes to chase the kids around. They love that. And so he makes it and he's have to run around with it. They love the little tornadoes. Now, two specific things. He can use his powers in his human body. Can he use the powers to the same extent in his regular body? I don't know. I thought he couldn't use his powers at all, but he can. So I don't know if he can still fight like crazy in his regular body. Number two, there's this kid next to him, this black little kid. Now, every time I seen this episode, I was so confused because at first when they walk in, I'm like, okay, that can't be like his girlfriend or something because she's way too short. I mean, I know there are short people, but she's really short. So who is this girl? So then I looked it up, and it said that that's his adoptive daughter from Bialia. Apparently, season two was supposed to get 26 episodes instead of the 20 episodes, and this was going to be a plot line for him, getting this girl and adopting her. I know there's a Young Justice comic and there's also a regular DC comic. This happens in the Young Justice comic, him adopting her. In the regular DC comic, I don't know if that actually happens, but it's kind of sweet that he adopted a girl, to be somewhat more human and to see human interaction. That's really sweet. I think they also said he had an actual love interest too, but we don't really get to see her in here. We don't really get to see her daughter too much either. Obviously, Red Tornado can't really pass on his powers to this girl because he's a robot. I don't know if she could ever like maybe get some technology from Red Tornado, wear like an Iron Man suit to use the technology. Some people said that maybe she could become Cyclone. Remember that black girl from Black Adam, that movie? She could become her. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, we don't really get to see her too much. But in this episode, every time I see her standing next to him, I'm like, who is that? Like, why is she with him? Like, 'cause I kept thinking, like, that can't be his girl because she's way too short. But maybe his daughter, but he can't really make a daughter, so I don't really know who that is. But when I looked it up like 10 minutes ago, that's what it said on Reddit. So okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty nice. But like I said, yeah, he makes a tornado and they're running around having fun. We go back over to Nightwing's group, and Brion and Nightwing are arguing. He's specifically arguing because one, he wants to find Tara, and he wants to find her now, and two, what was the point of the surprise attack? Now, Nightwing tells him to calm down. He needs to be patient and do his training because we don't want another fiasco like Infinity Island. That's number one. Also, he also mentions that, because I think Brion mentions that Tara is on Santa Prisca, so why don't we just go to Santa Prisca and get her? Now, it's not confirmed she's there. Nightwing tells us this. Obviously, that's a theory, but we don't know if she's there, and we don't want another thing. Like I said, we don't want another fiasco like Santa Prisca, where you weren't ready and trained. You went there anyway, and you nearly died. But he's still getting mad. I really like Brion, but his temper is funny, but it's also kind of ridiculous. Because I mean, yes, if this was me, I would want to find my little sister as fast as possible. If I find out she got kidnapped, tortured, and made a human soldier, but I need a plan and I need to figure out how to fight before I go, find her with these bad guys. I need to learn how to fight. So Rion, takes a breath. He goes, okay. So what was the point of that training? Come on now, that was ridiculous. Well, it kind of proves you need to be ready for a surprise attack. And out of nowhere, Lobo jumps down, makes a huge shockwave, blows everybody back. Lobo turns on his translator. He goes, the main man has a contract to kill the bug. Everybody else can go. They're like, what? We're not gonna let you kill our boy for you. Okay, hey, I gave you the chance to go, and so he has to fight everybody. And obviously, this is Lobo. And, this is Lobo. He can handle Superman, so he can obviously handle everybody here. He's able to tank Superboy's punches, toss Nightwing around, Artemis around. It's obviously not that hard. Well, it's not that hard to do that, but yeah, he's a problem. He is. He is a big problem. Here's a really cool scene I want to show to when we see Lobo for the first time when he lands. everybody just starts to get into battle stations. Like Black Lightning charges up. We see Artemis pulls out her bit arrow, like everything. Like it was a cool scene. Like everybody was ready. They were on go. They were not playing around. So then we see a few scenes of them fighting. Contending with Lobo, somewhat contending. And then what's his name? Superboy. He specifically says maneuver 16. Now when he says maneuver 16, the super cycle flies over and starts to light up Lobo with a bunch of laser blasts. He's able to tank these laser blasts, but he's holding his hands up to block them. Now that that happens, Superboy runs up and punches Lobo in the face super hard, and he goes flying. I mean, he goes flying, boy. That was a cool scene. I like that. Here, okay, here we go. I was trying to get it really quickly on the TV. I mean, that boy goes like this starts to go flying into a pile of rock, and Lobo gets a little bit mad at this. Lobo whistles, and his own motorcycle starts to fly around and fight against Super Cycle. So now that he can't have Super Cycle to help out in this fight, and Lobo keeps contending and fighting off everybody. Now, after this happens, we see let's see, what's her name? Sorry, so many characters this episode. I gotta think for a second. Nightwing. He tells Halo to get Forger out of here. So she grabs Forger, starts to fly away. Lobo's able to push everybody back, and he pulls out. I don't know what it's called, but that harpoon gun thing that he has, he pulls that out and shoots Halo with it, and it hits her right in the stomach, and it stabs her. And that was just so crazy. Now she can't heal, which is good, but it's still crazy to see. And she falls down to this. Uh, Give me a second. Hey, I'm back. Sorry about that. Somebody was calling me. So after that happens, obviously Brion gets really mad and Black Lightning gets really mad. So then they keep fighting him a little bit more, and then Black Lightning starts up a huge lightning blast and shoots him on his right side, and then Brion shoots a bunch of lava on his left side. So now he's kind of stuck in place, getting lava and lightning set on him. Now Lobo is able to tank this. Obviously, it's Lobo, but it still kind of hurts, and that's a really cool shot too. Just seeing a bunch of lightning and lava hit him from both sides. That's pretty dope. I love that scene. So then we go back over to the play date, and we get two more characters showing up for the play date, which is specifically Lois and Superman's son, which is Lois' son too. Sorry, it's Lois' son too. They're together. I'm saying Superman's son like that's not her son too, but they show up for the big play date, which is really cool. I mean, that's nice. Just a big old play date of all these superpowered individuals just chilling together. So after that, we pan over to the house across the street. We pan over to the house. Actually, yeah, there's two little girls there. One does look a little bit older than the other one. So okay, they still have the ages right for Black Lightning's kids. So we pan over to the house that's watching them, and everybody is there. So the guy says the time is now. He takes off his jacket, and it's revealed. Oh, sorry, I'm checking the screen. It's revealed that this is Ocean Master. Now, when he walks out that, well, when he tries to walk out the house with his giant trident, we get a new character pop up behind him, which is specifically Lady Siva. She goes, "This is impressive. You were able to find a house with all their kids and the husbands and wives. You were able to, get a house across the street, watch them, set up cameras and everything. These talents shouldn't be used for doing something like this. These talents should be used in the League of Shadows." Now he knows what the League of Shadows are. He's not really trying to be with the League of Shadows. And he says that he wants to go outside, use his mighty trident to blow up the house with all the kids and wives and husbands inside of it. Now she goes, yes, the light has thought about doing something like that, but that is the light's nuclear option. Because obviously, when you dish out a nuclear missile, you have to be ready for another nuclear missile to come back. She doesn't specifically state this, but I mean, come on. You, most of the Justice League have a good moral code. They don't kill, they don't go too far. You kill the Justice League's wives slash husbands and kids, they're going Injustice Superman. Injustice is already kind of ridiculous if you got Superman wilding out. You better have the whole Justice League wilding out. That's not good. So they're not treating the nuclear option lightly. Like that is the last, and I mean the last resort ever, ever, ever to do this kind of thing. Because like, are you smoking, killing their wives and kids? They're gonna be spazzing. You are going to die. You are definitely going to die. But he goes, hey, I don't care. I am the prince of Atlantis. I should be the king of Atlantis, but I was in prison for 6 long years. I am not waiting to get my revenge back anymore. I'm going out there and blowing up the house. She goes, yes, we all assumed this at the light. That's why they sent me. And she cuts off his head, which is probably the most best thing to do in the situation, because that would have been bad. That would have been so bad. But here's a really cool shot of Osa Master, and another really cool shot of Siva looking really nice. So now I'm thinking to myself, why in the world does the house with all the wives and husbands and, well, it's not really husbands, it's more wives than husbands, but the house with all the kids and the Justice League inside of it, why is it not more heavily guarded? Now I know they have a few superpowered individuals there, like Impulse and Red Tornado and Red Arrow, but well he's not superpowered. But you get what I'm saying. There's a few heroes there in Rocket, but they're part of the Justice League slash the team. I'm pretty sure they're not going to be there for every play date. Most of the time, I'm assuming there's going to be the regular parents there, and the more hero side of the it's not really going to be there most of the time. So why in the world are you like? Why isn't that more heavily protected? Like this is just a random house in a neighborhood. If you want to have this play date, how about let's have the play date on the watchtower or somewhere more secure? Or if you're gonna have it in a random neighborhood, how about we have it in a neighborhood with like two or three Justice Leaguers surrounding the house at all times. Maybe we should have that. Obviously, the Justice League can't really spend like 3 or 4 hours at a play date. They're gonna have to do stuff, something pops off, but still, either have this play date on the watchtower or have a few Justice Leaguers around the house because there was like no security. And the light knows about this house all the time. They just don't kill these guys because the Justice League will spaz out, which is good protection. But still, I still don't want to know. I still don't want the bad guys to know where my family is, and then they're killing them just because they're kind of afraid of what I would do. I don't want them to know where it is at all. You better protect. So are you kidding? This is like for smoking. Anyway, we go back over to the Nightwing fight with Lobo, and Lobo gets really mad. He goes, "Hey, Lobo can regrow new skin, and Lobo can regrow oh no, sorry, not regrow. Lobo can regrow new skin, and Lobo can buy a new jacket. But I bet you guys can't regrow your heads back when Lobo chops them off." So he takes off his jacket. He keeps fighting everybody. Eventually, Brion he melts the ground under Lobo and traps him underground. But it's Lobo. He's able to break from underground really easily, and then he starts to fight against Halo. Now, Dr. Chase, they try to get Dr. Chase away from here, but she kept saying, "I need to, watch the kids." I'm like, "What? Get out of here! This is not a training mission. You see what's going on?" Anyway, he tries to go over to where Halo is, and Halo glows a yellow beam, and well, she shoots a yellow beam at him and blows him back a little bit. He runs at her again, and she falls, and she makes the yellow beam curve into like a slicing attack, and it slices off Lobo's pinky. And then a bunch of foragers start to hit Lobo, and it's the hologram move that the hologram move, the hologram move that Halo can do. So he's like punching a bunch of holograms. He's getting angrier and angrier, and then eventually one of them actually hits him, and it hurts. And he grabs it and punches it, and it cracks the cell. A forager. Everybody starts to spaz out. They start to jump him, pushing him back, punching him. But it's Lobo. He's able to Lobo's able to tank everything they're throwing at him and also push them back pretty easily. Then Lobo's able to jump back on Forager's cell and crack it wide open. And Forager, he dies. He's a really cool scene. Everybody was jumping on Lobo, trying to, take him out. But it's Lobo. He was able to easily just push everybody back. And after he gets on top of his motorcycle, he tells them, "Hey, you guys should feel proud." Oh, no, sorry, I got ahead of myself. After he breaks the cell open, he tries to whistle for his motorcycle to come back, but he has only one pinky now because Halo's sliced one off. So he goes, "You know what? Just get over here." The motorcycle stops chasing the supercycle. He gets on top of it. So that's kind of funny. He whistles for it to come over, but he doesn't need to. He can just yell at it to come over here. But he tells them to be proud. "You guys did a lot better than most." Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. Most people just get killed instantly. They were actually able to put up somewhat of a fight. Now, were they close to beating Lobo? No. No, they were not close to beating Lobo at all. But I mean, hey, they were able to at least hold him back a little bit. They were able to hold him back a little bit, I guess. That's sort of an achievement. Everybody feels really sad. I think Forger died, but Forger comes out behind a rock. That was actually just Forger's cell. He was able to take it off, and now he's feeling really vulnerable. He kind of understands what they mean by being naked, and he's all pink and squishy. He looks pretty disgusting. Anyway, everybody's really happy he's alive, but nobody really wants to touch him because he's all gooey. But Brion does want to touch him because he's really happy his friend is alive, so he gives him a big old hug. After he gives him a big old hug, Artemis comes over. Artemis is funny. I did like this joke. She goes, "Hey, welcome to the Fake Your Death Club. The members are, I mean, to get inside of the club is really hard, and I'm the president. there's not many, there's not too many members. That was funny. Anyway, after that happens, she says, "Oh no, no, not she, Forger." He specifically states that, hey, all of you guys risk your life for me. Thank you. You guys are really a part of my hive. Obviously, you guys, we protect our own. I couldn't think of the words there. We go back over to the light having that conversation, and it's revealed that Siva took out that one task to take out Olsen Master because he was wilding out. And they also mention that she's the new enforcer of the light, which kind of confused me because I could have sworn because at first it was Sportsmaster was the enforcer, then he got replaced with Deathstroke, and then now it's Shiva. Now Deathstroke is still a part of the light. We can see him in the shadows off to the side. Um, so I guess he has a new title, unless maybe she's like the main enforcer now. I don't know. I really don't know. But they say the other objective was to send Lobo to go kill Forger. Now they know that he failed at his task, and Lobo doesn't know that, but that wasn't really the main objective. They wanted to find out the information that Ra's al Ghul gave them. Now Ra's al Ghul isn't a part of the light. We don't know why, but he's not working with them anymore. But they're still on good terms, so they exchange information. And he specifically told them about the little new Justice League that Nightwing has with Black Lightning, Brion, and everybody. They wanted to confirm this, so that's why they sent Lobo to go kill Forger. And then, yeah, now they can confirm that Nightwing has his own little Justice League that's not with the actual Justice League. It's Nightwing, Artemis, Superboy, Black Lightning, the banished Prince Brion, a new meta-human that they don't know of yet, Halo, and Forger. So that information is good. And it's also really kind of infuriating that those seven people, a seven number is really poetic, can really mess up their plans with us seven people. But obviously, they're assuring that they have other plans in motion that can take them out and also do this other stuff. And it's also revealed that they have a new member to this group, which is Granny Goodness. She's actually a bad guy. The sweet old lady is actually a bad guy. And that's the end of the episode. The after credit scene this time is Lobo's finger just laying on the ground. That's it. It's just Lobo's finger laying on the ground. And that's the episode for you guys today. So, like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you all later. Thank you all for watching. I thank all other happy woman human beings, and I see you guys next time. Bye bye. All right.